The forest was shrouded in shadows when the group of friends arrived at Camp Blackwood. It was a warm summer night, and the moonlight cast eerie reflections on the tall trees. The camp, abandoned for years, was known for its dark history of mysterious disappearances and strange sightings. Lucas, a young adventurer, led the group. His courageous spirit was matched only by the curiosity that drove him to explore forbidden places. Along with him were Sarah, his girlfriend, and his childhood friends, Alex and Emily. They pitched their tents in a clearing in the camp, with a roaring fire in the center. Ghost stories and local legends echoed in their minds as they listened to the nocturnal sounds of the forest. As the night progressed, the atmosphere became tense. Branches creaked in the wind, and mysterious sounds were heard in the darkness. Everyone tried to shake off their fear with laughter and jokes, but something about that night made them uncomfortable. "You've heard the stories about this place, right?" Emily asked, looking around with a worried expression. "They say strange things happen here at night." Alex shrugged, trying to look fearless. "They're just stories, Emily. Don't believe everything you hear. This place is perfect for an exciting adventure." Lucas turned on a flashlight and lit up his friends' faces with a smile. "Let's make this a night to remember. Nothing like a little excitement to liven up a campsite, right?" Sarah supported Lucas, but she couldn't completely ignore the feeling that they were being watched. "Let's build a fire, tell scary stories, and have fun. We have nothing to fear, guys." And so the night began with laughter, stories, and a blazing fire that lit up the camp. As the fire crackled and the moon cast its fickle light upon them, they tried to shake off their fears and enjoy the adventure. However, even with the fun, the surrounding forest remained enigmatic and full of unrevealed secrets. Shadows danced among the trees, and the wind whispered ancient secrets. As the group settled into their tents for the night, an unsettling feeling lingered in the air, as if something was lurking deep within the dark forest. As they fell asleep, the forest whispered its secrets and Camp Blackwood prepared to reveal its mysteries. The night was just beginning, and the group of friends were about to embark on a journey of terror that would take them to the limits of their courage and sanity. During the early hours of the morning, a sharp scream cut through the air, causing everyone to wake up with a start. It was Emily's scream, and it was coming from the dark forest surrounding the camp. Lucas, Sarah, and Alex turned on their flashlights and ran towards the distressed sound. They found Emily at the edge of the forest, her eyes wide with terror. She could barely speak, only mumbling incomprehensible words over glowing yellow eyes that watched her in the darkness. Sarah calmed her down and brought her back to camp, while Lucas and Alex investigated the surroundings for any signs of what could have scared Emily. But there was nothing but the unsettling silence of the forest. "What happened, Emily?" Sarah asked, worried as she wrapped her friend in a blanket. "You're okay now." Emily trembled, unable to find coherent words to describe what she had seen. "Eyes, yellow eyes, Sarah. They were everywhere, watching me in the darkness. I felt like something was chasing me." Lucas and Alex returned to camp, worried expressions on their faces. "We didn't find anything out there, but something definitely scared her," Lucas said, sharing Alex's uneasy look. As the group tried to calm Emily down, they heard distant noises in the forest. They were whispers, soft, unintelligible murmurs that seemed to come from all directions. The friends looked at each other, realizing that something strange was happening. The night continued, and the camp was shrouded in tension. The shadows seemed darker, and the sounds of the forest became more ominous. Emily insisted that the yellow eyes were still watching her, even though the others couldn't see anything. When the sun finally began to peek over the horizon, it brought welcome relief. The group decided not to continue with their original plans to explore the forest that day. Instead, they decided to spend the day at camp, huddled around the campfire, hoping that daylight would bring a sense of security. But the day only brought more questions and uneasiness. They noticed that the birds in the area were silent, as if the forest was waiting for something. And as the sun set again, the whispers in the forest began again, this time more audibly, as if someone was trying to communicate with them. "This is too weird," Lucas said, looking around nervously. "We can't stay here. We need to get out of this forest as quickly as possible." The friends agreed and quickly began packing their things, with Emily still shaken from the previous night's scary encounter. As they prepared to leave Camp Blackwood, they felt they were being watched once again, and the whispers in the forest turned into ominous murmurs. With hearts racing, they left the ominous camp behind and entered the dark forest in search of safety. Little did they know that the night still held unimaginable horrors, and that Emily's disappearance was just the beginning of a terrifying journey of survival. Over the next few days, the climate in the camp deteriorated rapidly. Emily was traumatized, repeating her stories about glowing eyes in the darkness, but neither of them could understand what had really happened. The forest seemed to be closing in on them, and the feeling of being watched never left them. One night, when the moon was hidden by dark clouds, the group heard a low, guttural sound coming from the nearby bushes. They raised their flashlights, revealing a distorted and frightening figure with glowing yellow eyes. It was as if darkness itself had taken shape. Panic gripped them, and they fled the camp, running into the unknown of the forest. Every shadowy tree seemed to hide nameless horrors, and whatever stalked them was always lurking in the shadows. "What the hell is that?" shouted Alex as they ran. He looked back and saw the silhouettes of yellow eyes in the darkness, following them relentlessly. Lucas led the group, trying to find a safe place. "I don't know, but we need to find shelter. This forest is alive, and we don't know what it holds." Finally, they found a small clearing with a large rock in the center. It was the perfect place to hide. They huddled behind the rock, trying to catch their breath. The yellow eyes disappeared into the darkness, but they knew the threat was still there. "Whatever it is, it seems to have a connection to Emily," Sarah said, her breath ragged. "We need to understand what's going on." Lucas agreed and suggested they search the camp for clues. "Maybe there's something there that will help us understand this nightmare. Let's go back when dawn breaks." The night seemed endless, but finally the day arrived. Cautiously, the group returned to Blackwood Camp, which now looked even darker in the daylight. They examined the area for clues, but everything was apparently normal. It was Emily who found what appeared to be a diary hidden in one of the tents. It belonged to one of the former campers and contained disturbing records of encounters with the same creature they had faced. "He calls it the Guardian of the Forest," Emily said, her expression grim. "He says it is an ancient and hungry entity that protects the forest from intruders." Lucas took the diary and read the yellowed pages. "That explains the yellow eyes and the whispers. It seems the forest has a very jealous protector." As they discussed what to do next, the forest around them began to shake. Trees swayed and bushes moved, as if the forest itself were alive. The yellow eyes appeared again, surrounding them. This time, there was no place to hide. The creature advanced towards them, revealing itself as a shadowy, grotesque figure with glowing eyes that reflected an insatiable hunger. Lucas knew they couldn't run anymore. They would face the guardian of the forest and fight for their own survival. With hearts racing, they prepared for the impending confrontation, determined to discover the truth behind the threat that haunted them and to uncover the dark mysteries of Blackwood Forest. The guardian of the forest slowly advanced, his ominous presence filling the air. His yellow eyes glowed with hunger as he approached the group of friends, who were retreating in a tight circle. The creature seemed composed of shadows, with long limbs and slender fingers that extended into sharp claws. Lucas grabbed a burning piece of wood from the abandoned campfire and held it up as a makeshift torch, trying to ward off the guardian. The dancing flames illuminated the creature's distorted features, revealing its monstrous appearance. The guardian let out a guttural growl, its claws scraping against the earth, leaving deep tracks. Emily was paralyzed by fear, but Sarah, Alex, and Lucas stood together, facing the threat with courage. "We can't let him get to us," Lucas said with determination. "We have to find a way to drive him away or stop him." While the guardian, as it approached, they noticed that its form seemed unstable, as if it were a manifestation of the forest itself. It was a nightmarish creature, fueled by the secrets and fears of those who dared enter the territory of Blackwood Forest. Sarah had a sudden idea. Perhaps the answer lies in the very legends he protects. If this creature is the guardian of the forest, then perhaps he is sensitive to its preservation. Alex took out a dagger he had brought with him and began carving a symbol into the nearby trees, representing respect for nature and a promise to protect it. Lucas and Sarah followed suit, carving similar symbols into surrounding logs and rocks. As they did so, the guardian of the forest seemed to hesitate, his claws slowly retreating. The yellow eyes still glowed, but the creature seemed confused and disturbed by what its friends were doing. Emily, finally regaining her courage, joined the group and began carving symbols with determination. The murmurs of the forest intensified, but now they were whispers of approval. "We are promising to protect this forest and respect its nature," Lucas said, looking at the guardian. "We did not come here to destroy, but to understand. Please let us pass in peace." The guardian faltered for a moment, its yellow eyes flickering before it slowly backed away and merged back into the shadows of the forest. The feeling of oppression that enveloped the group began to dissipate, and the murmurs in the forest quieted down. They remained there for a while, making sure they were safe, and then with daylight finally overcoming the darkness, they left Camp Blackwood behind. As they walked away from the forest, Emily looked back and said, "We have to share this experience with others. People need to know what really happens in Blackwood Forest." The group agreed, knowing that the truth about the guardian of the forest was a secret that must be revealed. They learned the importance of respecting nature and recognizing that there are mysteries that humanity should never disturb. As they walked towards the horizon, the Blackwood Forest remained silent, as if it had accepted the group's promise to protect its dark depths. The guardian of the forest had allowed them to leave, but they knew that the forest would always keep its secrets, hoping that those who defied it would learn to respect it. And so, the group of friends left Camp Blackwood and its dark mystery behind, taking with them an indelible memory of the experiences that had changed them forever. They returned home with a new appreciation for nature and a deep reverence for the secrets the forest held.